friends, and welcome to another video lesson from PBO Stocks. If you haven't subscribed yet, please click subscribe and click the bell so that you can be notified of new uploads. This is the first video in a playlist called SQL Concepts Clarified, and here we'll be dealing with concepts which could seem confusing to others. So we'll learn about here in this first video the difference of rownum and rowid in Oracle SQL. Okay, so it's very much specific to Oracle SQL, although the other flavors of SQL would carry some things similar, like a top end for their own purposes. But here we'll be focusing on Oracle SQL. Okay, so rownum versus rowid. So rownum first. Okay, I will just paste in here the bit of a definition for rownum. Rownum is a pseudo column. Oops. Its value is a number, which indicates the order in which Oracle selects the row from a table. Okay, so it's a pseudo column. Pseudo means like false. It's not really a physical column of that table, but it's a pseudo column. Okay, so you can use rownum to limit also the number of rows fetched by a query. Okay, let's see the effect of using a rownum. First, let's just run a normal select statement from a table. Select asterisk from supplier table. So it selects all the rows and all the columns of from this table. In this case, it has 3 columns, it has a couple of rows, 5 rows. And now let's use the rownum. So let's just say we wanted to just, you see we have 5 records in this table. If we wanted to display just the first row, which is this one, then you will use this condition where rownum equals 1. Okay, so it should only display the first row that you are seeing now. Okay, and it does that. It shows you only the first row from the original set that you've seen earlier. Okay, now note that we can only use the equal sign in rownum only for the rownum equals 1. If it is we wanted to display more rows than just 1, we cannot use equals. We will have to use less than, the less than operator. Okay, so let's say if we wanted to display the first 3 rows, we cannot use rownum equals 3. Let's see, let's try. Example, you're not familiar with this command, with this rownum, and you wanted to display the first 3 rows, then you would probably think of using rownum equals 3. Right, but when we execute that, nothing gets returned. Okay, it's just something specific to Oracle. So instead of using equals for the other possibilities, if you wanted to display more rows than just 1, then you shouldn't use equals, but less than. So if you wanted to display 3, then we will say rownum, where rownum is less than 4, because what is less than 4 is 3, and so on, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so if we execute this, then it gives you the first 3 rows of the data set. All right, so that's the use of rownum. Remember, if you don't want to be confused, then don't bother using equals. Just keep on using less than. Okay, it's just a -1. If you wanted to display, okay, I'll give you another example just so that we can get the hang of it. So let's just say we wanted to query the first 5 rows. First 5 rows. Okay, it's already. Then of the data set, then we can use first less than 5. Okay, less than 6. Okay, so this will give you the first 5 rows. Where rownum is less than 6, because what is less than 6 is 5 onwards. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right? So if you wanted to display first 5 rows, anyway, it should still be dependent on the data, because let's say a table only has 3 rows, then of course it is obvious that it can only, the maximum it can display is 3 rows, right? But assuming there are really 5 or more rows, and you only wanted to display the first 5 rows, then you will use this, where rownum is equal to 6. And it will only display you 5, because less than 6 the biggest you can get, less than 6, is 5. That's why you have 5 rows here. Okay, so now you've seen in action how the pseudocolumn called rownum works in Oracle SQL. Now let's go and try to learn about row ID. Okay, row ID. So row ID is, I'll paste it here, is the unique identifier for a row in an Oracle table. Okay, so definitely if you want to have data integrity, each row must be unique, but this is normally done by defining referential integrity, like say a table and another table have such a relationship so that the primary key column or columns of one table are being referred to as a foreign key in another table. Okay, that's referential integrity. But other than that, Oracle has built in a feature, a pseudocolumn, which is called row ID, which can be used as the unique identifier of each row in an Oracle table. Okay, let's see it in action. Let's use the table we used in the previous examples, which is a supplier table. Okay, so select. Now I've added the pseudocolumns row ID. So select row ID, supplier ID, contact name from supplier. Okay, let's look at that. Okay, so the values in here look quite normal, but if you take a look at the pseudocolumn called row ID, it displays a little bit, for someone seeing this for the first time, it would be an odd set of values. It is consisting of letters, a mix of uppercase and lowercase, and you can see that each one of these row IDs is really unique for that row, right? Although they seem to look similar in the very first few characters, but at the end, towards the end, you can see that each one is unique. You see here, NB AAA, NB AAB, NB AAC, setting in that, NB AD, NB AAE, and so on. So each one will promise to be, and not only promise, but will prove to be a unique identifier for each row. So obviously, one of the uses of a row ID is that it helps us in deleting duplicate rows if there are any. This is one of the tricks being used to get rid of duplicate rows. You will do a select max on the row ID of those duplicated rows, okay, which something that we could discuss in another video. But in this video, we have learned about the difference between the pseudocolumns rownum and row ID, which are very specific to Oracle SQL. Okay, thank you for watching and listening. If you haven't subscribed, please click subscribe, and I'll be seeing you in the next video.